Please put your hands together for Rekha Patel, founder and president at Zara, Inc., who will speak on the topic, Visions of the Future Network Platform. Welcome.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Hope everybody's brought in a cup of coffee because this is the worst spot that I can get to speak to. But I'm excited to be here and talking about a vision for the future network platform. What's going to be striking to all of you is I was a fly on Samir's slide number 2. He spoke about network ecosystems. Well, I'm a fly on that slide of his. And the panel before me talked all about data security and making sure that data is assets now. And we need to be very careful about the security of it. Now I'm coming in from a very different angle, speaking to you all about collaborating very, very openly. I'm going to talk about how do you build open collaboration platforms. And in building open collaboration platforms, or I should say any kind of a platform, we all know that we need to define some of our core value units. And as we define these core value units, we need to be thinking about, what business values do they bring us? But as we learned this morning or heard this morning and confirmed that, our best users of digital technologies are all of us, we need to be able to fulfill what we need to be doing and play our roles in this as well. So as we settle down and get ready to talk about this, I would like to go ahead and say the first thing that we should keep in mind is, how are we going to be looking at all these platform constructs, and how are we going to be designing our core value units? So, the slide didn't change. Let's just, okay, there we go. So I think that in designing any kind of a platform, we need to have a lot of agility in our design going forward, because we are not going to be building a monolithic product of any sort. We need to have a very flexible architecture and flexible integrations. And these flexible integrations will need to be for many of these core value units, whether they be technology and or business. Also essential to me, because I am talking about the open collaboration, will be open collaboration, but as I say it, bear in mind that obviously we will need to facilitate semi-private and fully privatized collaboration components too, because we will need to have a lot of hybrids for people to be able to enable people to do business as they need. We also will need to have instantaneous multi-party engagements. Multi-party engagements, because as we go, and we heard a lot about digital transformation this morning, so I don't needless to say that in the digital transformation, all of us are looking for fast solutions, integrated fast solutions. So keeping that in mind, we were looking at a multi-party collaboration workflow. I come from the oil and gas industry, and it's very difficult for us to actually collaborate, but we have to build cooperatives irregardless to be able to put out good solutions to all our problems that we face, right? So in this depiction, what I'm showing is you could have multiple parties, so the different colors, that are coming together. They each will need to work with each other, but then all these communities will also need to come together to deliver the fast solutions that we need, because we need to supercharge research and science. And how do you do that? That is going to be by bringing academia and industry together. So industry brings your years of valuable experiences, and academia is going to be a very good research arm. And a lot of that happens today. But to supercharge it, we need to work in collaboration. Increasing velocities we spoke about, and the faster time to market we spoke about. The key thing will be that we collaborate securely to catalyze the new solutions in many different ways. So there are a lot of barriers, though, in working together collaboratively. And let's look at some of the barriers that we are all faced with, right? Any leader that is undergoing digital transformation within their organizations or even trying to learn about it is faced with the people, process, and technology silos. So let's for a moment say that our technology is going to be the platform here. We still need to break down the barriers of the people and process silos. The lack of integration of these has slowed down digital transformation in many places. So what we are trying to do here is say, how can we create solutions through an integrated platform? And that is where we are bringing in collaborative components for the people side of things, and then we're looking at how do you build end-to-end work processes in your platforms. So integrated network platforms, whether I remain a fly on Samir's slide number 2, or we all come out and build platforms together, we all know that we need these, and they're very core to our future successes. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rekha Patel, president of Zarathus. I'm privileged to be speaking here today and join so many of you accomplished speakers. And I take this opportunity to thank InterCon, their advisors and organizers, to invite me to talk about my passion-filled thoughts of the whys and wherefores of building the future network platforms. So I've shared some of the optics there with us. I will walk into our journey into the parts of the Zarathus vision and talk about some of the things that we have employed, which I think is befitting for envisioning future platforms. So just to touch about Zarathus, because there was a question on the pronunciation. It is pronounced Zarathus, and when I had to name my company within like 3 hours one morning because I needed to get something, an NDA with the customer, that we spoke about this morning. So I'm from the oil and gas industry, so it was Aramco, and I said, what do I call it? And our platform's all about connecting people, connecting processes, connecting technologies. So the word Zarath is a phonetic pronunciation of connect in Sanskrit, and I added the US. But because I'm building the platform that will go cross-vertical, I took out the Z and put the X. So it is Zarathus. So that a little bit about that. So if we talk about Zarathus and what we are doing, as stated already, we are building a platform that we will all be looking at from a collaboration standpoint, right? So it is customizable, it's open, and it is taught with how can we all build open projects together. We all have projects we need to do. How can we bring the crowds to help us and the experts to help us build our projects? So I will be talking about what's important to us. Data sharing is going to be very important to us. Open access is going to be very important to us. And collaboration, as I have been stating over and over again. So we need to be looking at how do we build an engagement framework for such an open collaboration, bearing in mind that we need to bring all of the core value units our platform has, and can't leave any one of them behind. So as we talk about it, here is an engagement journey that we envisioned and we are bringing in our platform, the Zarathas communities. So as you can see in this depiction, and the colors are actually meaning something. So we start with connect, which is the lilac. I don't know if you guys can see the colors very well, but connect. It is all about connecting people to ideate, brainstorm, or just have open discussions. If you want to have privatized discussions, the platform capability is for you to be able to privatize your discussion forums. Then we look at what we call Hub, which is our data science environment. We'll look at it in a little bit detail in a minute. But basically, if you are ideating with a group of people and you decide and determine that you want to go and build something together, or even just look at an MVP or a feasibility of what you're talking to, what you could do is go ahead and leverage the data science workspaces to go ahead and vet out your ideas. For us, training and contextual training is extremely important. And I'll come to that in a minute. But what we have is one of our substrates is training. And obviously, in the end, not developed today, but aimed at will be our multi-sided marketplace. When we were trying to think of this, I was thinking of the number of personas that need to come together and the number of silos we will need to break to come and work together. And I decided that the best way to think about this is to define the 5 personas that I came up with. I came up with this because I'm saying that going forward, no matter what industry you're in, you are going to be looking at data science as the underpinning of all solution making. So if you think of it from that perspective, you have your data scientists who will need the experts, right? We call them domain experts, the science experts. You will need your developers who will come in and optimize code. They might help you decide and determine on what deployment tools you want to use. Your product owners need to be in the game, and the sponsors. And you need a framework that is scalable, agnostic, secure, and fully integrated. And in our case, our patent is built about how we bring these personas together. So a little bit on how we have been thinking about open collaboration and open projects in our platform. In the diagram, you can see, it's mostly to the right here with the light blue. That is our pre-configured data science environment. Here, you talk about data and data capabilities, but we don't leave out the diverse pieces, which is all of the communication and how you need to be working with people, how you can build your blogospheres, discussion forums, et cetera. And obviously, training, which is very key and important to us. And as you can see from these dotted lines, we have integrated and captured everything in our pre-configured workspaces where you can, if I am a data scientist working on a problem, and I'll use an oil and gas industry problem, full waveform inversion, and I'm a data scientist, I don't know enough about full waveform inversion, I could call upon somebody in the community that knows full waveform inversion, or glean on a course that has full waveform inversion and get that help and continue doing my project. So that's the idea behind integrating these pieces together. There's access also to industry, academia, and community knowledge bases. Industry and even companies sit on a wealth of knowledge, but it is not shared today. And we're saying, it should be shared with the folks that are doing the solution making because it's important, it saves time. And if they need to be taking the courses, we have continuous feedback loops when they're developing from discussions and also in the courses. So the platform provides all the collaboration frameworks and tools to do that. So let's walk through a few benefits that digital leaders will glean, right? If I'm a leader in the digital industry, what is it that I want today? I want to be able to observe and envision these multidisciplinary outcomes. You know, I want to look at these outcomes across teams, companies, and communities. I want to provide, I'm a manager managing teams that are going through the digital journeys, and I need to break down those process silos. I need to bring everything together and have transformative innovation going on as we're doing this, because we still have a business that we're running, and we are needing to identify and deploy solutions. Then the open collaboration and transformative innovation is a benefit that manager gets. We're going to be creating a lot of IP. How do we bring this IP into our organizations and accelerate decision-making through these innovations that we are creating? We also, once we create this IP, we need to be able to publish it immediately and accelerate engagement. What I mean by accelerate engagement is the faster the team and or a customer starts using your product, the faster you're going to get your engagements with the end users, and that is something that helps improve and build the product, because we're trying to do something at very higher speeds than ever before today, right? And that also helps us iterate our developments, and as we iterate our developments, we can expedite pipelines and detailed workflows that we may have had problems doing before, because we were working in silos, and those didn't break down in time for us, but now they are in this environment. So, and then knowledge sharing, knowledge sharing, right? Collaborative knowledge sharing is key. I'm a scientist working with a data scientist. As a data scientist, I've gleaned and analyzed all the data, but I might be just missing that one piece of information that I needed from the scientist or that senior expert that's going to tell me how I should be looking at solving my problems. So across disciplines, this is crucial. So this is what our world today kind of looks like. We have, we have, you know, the 5 personas sitting in here, and we are being very open about how do we bring all these people to interact and interface with each other, right? And this should not stop at just discussions, or it shouldn't stop at the time of development. It should be occurring and happening all throughout. So as we build open projects, no matter whether I'm a trainer doing training and I come into the Zarathis platform to provide training, or I'm just coming in as a visitor saying, oh, okay, what do these guys have? No matter what, whenever you decide this might be something useful for yourself, you can create those open projects, whether you do it independently by yourself or if you want to do it in groups of people. And then as you connect with people, like-minded people, to do your workflows, you can make decisions as to how you work in the data science workspaces we call Hub. Right? You got your workflows. We have some pre-configured workflows there. We've also pre-configured the data science environment where you get multiple data science tools there, right? So you don't have to set up your and install your Jupyter notebooks, etc. It's pre-configured for you. You go ahead and start working in it, and you can leverage any of the widgets we have built. We've got some widgets we built, such as visualization tools. We built some scoring metrics algorithms to improve. We did it for challenges, but obviously we can use it for developing our products. And also, we are building some example code that would be very critical for anybody from any industry to go ahead and employ the platform and use it. And we are all about continuous innovation, continuous improvements and continuous integration. Without that, I think it would be very difficult to move forward, because we do need to have these continuous cycles to improve how we deliver future solutions, and we need to be looking at the new ways of working. So yesterday we had a breadth of conversation when we talked about ageism in tech. What we are doing is we're bringing all of us together. It doesn't matter where your expertise lies, because we need the knowledge people, so the experts of the industries, doesn't matter which industry you are, to actually convey how the experience has been for them, and that will help you expedite your solutions. So we brought in data scientists in our industry and very quickly learned that we can't have them making billion-dollar decisions, right, without having some of our scientists tell them, how to look at, how to interpret our data and how to look at where oil and gas can be found. So that's very, very important for us. But we're learning a lot from the young people in our industry, and I think we agreed yesterday that that is true for other industries as well. We spoke about tech. In our case, we have educational programs. We have started a program called Simplux, where we have industry mentors and students. They're defining the projects that they want to learn from. So the students, if they don't have time, they can go ahead and bring in their projects from school, and the industry mentors that have years of experience in those particular topics are coming in and helping, and we, Zrathas, are bringing them representative data that they can work with, which is publicly available. We are also connected with the GitHub, so everybody's developing a lot in the GitHub, so we have an easy access for people to bring their information in and out. So Zrathas, if I think I've conveyed it, we're all about empowering people to work together, right? And what are they going to work together for is, they're going to solve industry's hard problems together. Circling back to our topic, right? When designing future visions for platforms, most importantly, what I have kept in mind is leverage technologies that are already built, that are in use, in anger, right? Because every time we want to, if I go and say I'm going to build this on my own and come out with it a year later, the end users, all of us, technology drivers, might already have learned 10 other technologies, and we might have the fear of learning from this new technology. So it might be well worth our while, which we have done at Zrathas, to take the existing technologies and see if it's established and relevant, and let's use that. It will help reduce the development costs of the platform, but it will also end up in higher uptakes. Collaborate, work with partners and vendors to reach your mutual end goals. In the digital transformation world today, we are finding leaders more so than ever before, bringing in customers and vendors and partnering with them to come out with the best solutions. So let's not worry about building from scratch. Let's work together in collaboration. Remember, I say this because all platforms are bound by network effects. Let's go ahead and engage cooperatively and smartly, because that's the only way I think we can work on these network effects that could come and backbite us for the future. So that is what I have for us today. I thank you all for listening, and this is, as I have been saying, all about collaboration. So this is my vision, because I'm very passionate about collaboration and building a platform to bring people together from some of the experiences I've had. And I would like to obviously listen to all of you, provide inputs to the vision as well, because one person alone cannot envision future platforms. Thank you all for listening.